Hi guys, welcome to the channel of love. I want to talk about the diary today. I'm actually I've gone to a dictionary, um, one of my favourite books anyway, and I was looking up what diary means. Where's it gone? Um, where am I looking? See, it's disappeared. That's really weird. Oh, there you are. Book 4, a record of daily events, appointments, or observations. A diarist, a person who writes in the diary. Okay, so I want to talk about my diary, especially since we've had the weekend off. So going within, following our own guidance. But really, what I think the message was more about is about we're receiving downloads or upgrades, like our program's upgrading. So I found myself writing a diary. Now, early on, I was thinking about, because really the energy today is about manifesting, all right, about living in fantasy land, manifesting. But there has been a lot of discussions over the weekend that I've had, and I've started to jot them down, like kind of the energy in the air. And how that come about was I found a diary that I purchased for this year. Now, for many years, my diary needed to be full. It was like that was a mission, okay, to kind of fill up that diary. It was like you sleep when you're dead, and that was the mentality that I was in. It was like you miss important events, you work now, you play later. So it was really important for that diary to be filled up. And the beginning of this year, I had intentions of maybe going back down that path again. Okay. And I purchased a diary, and I realised that I haven't even wrote in it. And we're in May. So I looked at this diary and I thought, well, I'm actually going to throw it away. I thought, no, I'm going to use it as a diary, like for thoughts, feelings. And I mean, I haven't done that since like I was probably about 16. So I wrote actually a personal journal like that, a daily one. I make journal accounts, but they're not every day. So let me, so my diary, 3 days. But I think it's interesting maybe to have a look at what energy I was picking up on. So this was more about conversations that I was having with people. So I may not have been on actually doing tarot readings, but I have still been speaking to people. And it was more about catching up with people that I personally know. So the conversations were really good. It's like I took time out, but I took time out to reconnect with my nearest and dearest. So I should be able to probably read most of this. I've got down here for the new moon is write down your intentions for 1 month and for a year, and what you would like to see changed. So let's start on Saturday. Self-forgiveness was coming up. And what I wrote down here is holding on to past behaviour that we are still ashamed of, that others have long forgot. And I was having conversations about, I was actually kind of getting people to open up about what is it that you're actually ashamed of? What situation in your life do you hold guilt, shame for? And maybe you caused conflict upon others. So it was like, what are you most ashamed of? And then I started talking into more about those people. And do you think that maybe they're ashamed of some things that they would have done? What do you think maybe their worst ashamed is that word is? And we started talking about other people's actions and things they've done in the past, especially when they were younger. And I asked whether or not they're forgiven these people. Are you still holding on to it? She's like, no. And it's like, okay, so do you think maybe people may have forgiven you for what you done? and you're just not aware of it. It's only you holding on to that. So that was something that was coming up. This is on Saturday. Self-worth. Oh, so let me finish this bit. So it said, what are you most ashamed of, and what past behaviours have you forgiven that others may still hold on to personally? Food for thought here. So then we've got self-worth. So a real big thing about self-worth on Saturday. A lot to do, I think it's to do with parents. It's about letting people down who hold you in quite a high regard. You hold yourself in that high regard because you think that that's an expectation of them. So I've got self-worth. People hold in a high regard for you who are not aware of the truth of you and the power of your shadow side. So they don't know the dark side of you. It's like, if only they knew, they would probably be really disappointed in me. So I've got here, especially proud parents and not living up to their expectations. And I've got actually here, they are proud no matter what. There's no one to impress. They just want you to be you. Okay. I was busy. I've been busy, really busy during dream state. And it wasn't last night. It was the night before. Yes, not last night, night before. I know that I went to bed. I saw the clock and it was 02:02. But I woke about 3 o'clock in the morning again, and I had something really important to write down. And I know when I'm to wake up, I can write it down, but I didn't. I said, it's okay. I went over it a few times in my mind. So it's okay, you're going to remember this in the morning. And I didn't. So, on Friday night, I was kind of swapping from side to bed, of the bed. It was like there was planning going on in dream state, ideas, very bizarre. It's quite an unsettling night. Oh, what have I got here? It's a chatty energy about plans. Tired and calm, but it was very natural. It was like discussions were taking place. So, and the other thing is, why are you where you are now? And why did you have to live that life? So, look at where you are now and why. So I can I can go back to the start and understand kind of why I maybe had that argument. I moved out away from that location, that situation happened, to kind of, because without them I wouldn't be in a particular place now. It's a whole string of events to be able to make now possible. So he's trying to have a look in the lesson of it, and that's something that it's about going back over the past, actually maybe seeing the truth in the situations. Right, let's turn over. That was the new moon. So, and then yesterday's energy was about feeling safe in your home, the home, the hearth, comfort, peace and love. And I wrote down embarrassed and judgment. Ah, I know why. I was speaking to somebody regarding feeling ashamed about letting people in your home for the fear of being judged. So there's a lot of maybe our life's in a bit of disarray. We've kind of not kept on top of things. We've let things slip. And these can really kind of build up and make you feel that you're a different person now, if that makes sense. As in, somebody could come in and judge you, and what they see is the now, where you kind of know that maybe you've just been going through a bad time and you've let things slip. So this comes in with hermitage. It's like, how would you feel if you could just, anybody can come in at any time and you're living to the standard, you don't feel judged. It was more a focus about working on what we want to see. And working on that. Just actually putting the focus into what is your image of you. And do you need to explain it, or do you hide it? Image, big thing. Okay. So I've got here, we let people freely into your home without feeling judged. Your choice is your lifestyles and who's in your corner and who's judging you. So who's holding you back? Who's inspiring you? This was an interesting one about letting go of feeling trapped, compliant. And we were talking about, does it really take for somebody to die, or for you to have a big, massive argument with somebody to make a situation change, or for them to give you space? It's about not having a filter, verbally pointing out the wrongs of others to try and justify a reason for wanting to escape. And I've got here, it's a repulsion of energy, not person. Don't even have a repulsion, but that's the feeling that you'll feel, is repulsed by the energy. But you'll start to look for different things about them to justify why you feel that way. And you could just actually say, you know, your energies are not a match. It's just not a connection. And we don't openly say that, you know. And instead I didn't write anything down here. That blaming and pointing out the wrongs in others, when really just the connection, you may have grown apart, it may not been a connection that could have developed. There may have been a spark, but was there actually a connection? So it says, be in a state of appreciation. Yeah. And if you're not in a state of appreciation, then go into a state of meditation. So it's not about always being in a state of meditation, of stillness. I think the universe would rather have us in a state of appreciation, but that's really hard to get to. So whenever your appreciation, you feel it's dropping, or maybe you're the blame game, that's the time then to go within and connect. But I feel it's really important anyway to spend a lot of time maybe connecting in a state of meditation. Meditation is just a stillness. When you start putting all different kind of procedures to it, it then becomes effort, doesn't it? So it's about being in this state of appreciation. So when you feel that you're not in that, become aware. And then meditate if you need to, calm yourself, bring yourself back to centre. But if you can, staying in that state of appreciation will do it. And the other feeling that I had for Saturday was Sunday, sorry. Remember time, it's just was about knowing that change is here, but there's no urgency to push that. It's like you're watching things unfold. I suppose it's like, write the intentions of a month and a year, and what you're facing right now, you kind of know, well, that's not going to be around for much longer, but you're kind of not doing anything about it. It's like that stillness, which is this state we need to get to, non-attachment. So, and walking through your journey, and you're getting ready to be ready. But it's like, are you ready? Especially if you're questioning letting people into your home, if you're saying, I'm sorry, it's a bit of a mess, and you're already apologising for a judgment that I very much doubt they would even verbalise. So it's like, who's judging who? It's normally just yourself judging you. Did that rhyme? I don't know. Today, I've got down future abundance and possibilities, dream state. Now, I do remember kind of what happened last night in my dream. It's something to do with mermaids and angels. Mermaids. It's something to do with a siren call. Okay, so it's like, that's why I'm definitely jumping on today, because I believe it's about being in this state. It's the new moon in Taurus, okay? So it's very pentacles, materialistic. It's about visualising the abundance coming in. So it's really important, like I said, write down your intentions and how you want to see maybe a certain situation in a month, and then how you see that certain situation in a year. What you see being resolved, okay? Just put the manifestation, like the intention, I want to say, away. You don't need to keep looking at it, but it's really important that you actually write that down. Sometimes it's better to forget about it because then you're releasing the attachment to it, but you've kind of stated it. And I feel it's really important to tap into that and your own intuition, because you are receiving, if you want to call them downloads, upgrades, you're reprogramming. Okay, you're not working on the same system anymore. I know that I have been just taken out of it. It's been a very mellow, calm weekend. Really nice. Really nice. So, millionaire status, sharing the wealth, self-employment, mission work. It's kind of in the air today. And but we need to align with the abundance coming. And I've just, well, I shared it on the Facebook page, but this is what I took out of the little kind of clip that I shared about Wayne Dyer, and it's about we become what we think about all day long, or you become what you think about all day long. Right, and that's all that and the number 7, but it's this siren call. And what was really quite weird, because I was kind of like, wake in the morning, I was just gazing, as you do. And it was like the siren call, mermaids siren call. And then as I looked over, I actually saw this. Don't fall. Okay, so I thought we'll pull some cards. Can't go downstairs. I did try. It would have been easier because I've had access to all my cards then. It's bank holiday and everybody's home, and cooking, pottering about, as you do. But okay, diary. You can start listening to conversations that are around synchronizations that come in, songs on the radio, articles that are coming up, what's going on in the news. I don't listen to the news, but I do have things pop up as banners, emails. Have a look how the messages are trying to get in. It's like, it's time to wake up. We're all waking up, and some wake first, okay, to help the others to wake up. And that's where really you can learn to kind of find this compassion within. A big thing as well about being compassionate. Okay, they're not aware. So, okay, yet. You're not aware of the programming. So it's like, forgive yourself for the amount of times I've said over this weekend, oh, go easy on yourself. Please forgive yourself. You know, you wasn't to know. And, but now you do. But be aware that the others still don't know. And it was kind of like, I had to learn the hard way. And I said, don't we all? And so will the others who are not resonating. That kind of energy. I'm not going to, it is a repulsion. That's how I'm being described, this energy as being. It's like not wanting to do those things that you find yourself doing, but not really feeling brave enough. How do you cut it off? It can be kind of like you are trapped. You feel so trapped in your own prison that you've created because of, I'm going to say, like lack of communication. Not even lack of it, just not being shown the flow. People don't talk about this stuff. And then they wonder why. I was talking about holding in feelings and saying, you know, I just feel so angry and not having a filter on my words. It's just all coming out. And it's because we don't release these emotions and feelings as they come up. We don't jot them down. We don't address them. And then you get a tsunami. So, as you start to learn to develop this skill of expressing emotions, feeling them, emotions want to be felt. It's going to make others feel uncomfortable, okay? And you could get some tsunamis okay, until they learn. But it's a lesson that we have to learn on our own, really. Right, should we pull some cards? How long was that little? 19 minutes. Well, maybe 20. That's good. Let's pull some cards. I want to see what they're going to come out with. Choose the Rider-Waite. Okay, so that's a bit of a lowdown on what I've been kind of, the energy I've been working with, and recognising that's out there. Here's the balance. So with Two of Pentacles. My brain just kind of went dead altogether, as in what this card even means. Just trying to think. We've got the infinity symbol. The Two of Pentacles is about remaining balanced while things are choppy. I want to say the tsunami. It's a skill. It's like, what's going to trigger you today? And it's like, be quiet and just observe. What rubs you up the wrong way? Because it's something that you need to address. If it rubs you up if it rubs you up the wrong way, it's a reflection of something that you're seeing in that person that's within you. Maybe you've witnessed this before. Maybe it's a trait of you that you have and fear. Maybe it's a trait of you that you don't like. So the judgment that you give is only really reflecting back on yourself. Otherwise, you would be at a point of compassion, understanding how somebody could be, why they might be behaving. There's nothing wrong with them behaving like that, but it might not be a match to your energy anymore. And that might be because you've actually moved on. You've evolved from that energy that used to be maybe you, an aspect of you, and you've evolved onto it. You've evolved onto it. I don't know. So to see that in somebody else just triggers a reflection of you. So with the infinity there, and it's like, because it's all kind of, it's energy. Oh, we've got a card here that's upside down. Okay, feeling burdened, carrying lots of people's burdens. Give them back. Say no. You might upset them, but say no. It's about becoming selfish to become selfless. So, and you know what? When other people learn to do that for themselves, then you won't be carrying that. They'll be dealing with their own shit. It won't be a burden to help somebody out, because you would have the experience, you would have the balance. The knowledge with the Hierophant. It's about the way that we do things, traditions, belief systems. That's what the Hierophant is. Well, we've got spiritual union here, and another card, which is the Nine of Pentacles. So spiritual union is about filling up your own cup first, and then you can exchange with another. You can share the cup, because there's an understanding, there's a balance. But spiritual union has to come within first. The Nine of Pentacles is an independent, single, feminine energy. Okay, which means that they're not putting all their burdens onto other people, expecting them to solve them. They're taking responsibility for their own life. It's the feminine energy. The feminines can be the ones that can kind of maybe put the burden upon, especially masculines, where actually, you know, being independent kind of relieves the pressure a bit. Masculines are very much into let's fix it. They have a very fix it head on. If you discuss, this is where we come in with the emotions as well, discussing emotions. When a feminine discusses her emotions with a masculine automatically assumes that the feminine wants advice. So we'll offer that, and the feminine will be, I didn't want advice, I just wanted maybe support, love, somebody to listen, someone to be compassionate. And masculine straight away go away and want to solve the issue because that's their primal energy. Okay. Lesson for both. You don't need to take on any feminine's issues or anybody's issues. You can just listen with compassion. And anybody that's expecting that from you to take on their issues, then they'll learn the hard way. So I shared actually on the Facebook page how it all kind of comes in is it was Eckhart Tolle about the pain body. It's about speaking the truth. Let's get 3 more cards. Because I've kind of come on and decided what we're talking about. Wrapping up cycles now. This card and the 4 of Swords, resting, healing, contemplating, meditating. We are really in a state now, I said about knowing that things are going to be changing. You just know things are changing. You just know that you are wrapping up cycles now. Yep, getting over the emotional loss of the past. Okay, so moving on from that, turning around to the actual union, spiritual union within. And there's the true growth. That's really then when you can share that love, the knowledge. Now, there's a defensive energy here. That's standing your ground. You might get your heart broken going through this process. I'm not going to go into that part today. Okay, by actually being still, not allowing people to budge you off what you know. Okay, because they will try. They will try to put every type of fear into you. And this is about heartache, getting over it, past heartache and loss. Comes in with that. But now this is it's a test of strength. A strength of not being responsive. Okay, about standing your ground. Right, very interesting. Okay, just get my leg down. I'm getting older. It's the joints are like, and the hair's a bit grey today. Okay. Right, let me give you a quick rundown on this reading. So the underlying energy is the 3 of Swords. Time to leave that heartache, loss, all in the past, where it belongs. It all had a purpose, okay? Taking the lessons, moving on. New beginnings. 2 of Pentacles, remain in balance while the tsunamis take place. There'll be plenty of them, okay? It's about you may feel burdened. And I want to say this is about surrendering them burdens now. It's like it's been divinely directed, okay? You've been instructed to give back the burdens, release them, which is only going to take you, okay, to look at things from a different perspective, a different understanding, from an awakened state. This is the awakened state. Okay, spiritual union, the 2 of Cups. It's when 2 can come together and there's the compassion and the love and the respect and the peace and the compromise. And that's by being independent. And it's like in your feminine energy. And I have to, because it's kind of lying down like this, I have to kind of want to say the burden, masculine's carrying the burden of the feminine. And I want to say like more of a needy feminine, okay? And this is just causing, it's like the masculine is never ever going to be able to satisfy the feminine. where the masculine really needs to learn to look after himself and the rest will just take place. You take care of you first, then you can offer, then it will flow. But it's about being able to speak the truth about this, about people becoming independent. It's right in the middle of the reading. And then we have wrapping up the cycle. Excuse me. Found an article on Yahoo, came up as a banner, and it spoke about what I spoke about in. It spoke about what I spoke about. It didn't. It wrote about what I spoke about. When I done the Out of This World reading, because I picked up how Taurus and Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, the fixed signs, would maybe, you know, be challenged, be affected the most with this new moon. New moon's about manifesting. Full moon's about leaving the past behind, getting rid of everything that you don't want, burdens. And the new moon is about becoming independent, dreaming, desiring, speaking that, I want to say, into reality, into existence. Did I share it yesterday? Wayne Dyer, I think it was off of the Heal Your Life Summit, the Hay House Heal Your Life Summit. I don't know, because I'm not just listening to that, I'm listening to other material that I'm coming across that's relevant for like now, although a lot of the Hay House is coming in quite relevant with the energy. And I'll keep sharing what I feel I want to share. I know that I won't watch all of them. I did put you up the link so you could see the schedule. There's one coming up about crystals. Can't wait to watch that one. And there's some coming out today, I believe. They come out at different times. So the season 2, series 2. I think it's called. Anyway, let's get back to this. Oh, new moons. Okay. So it's about wrapping up cycles now. A very powerful one, because like I said, it's a new moon in Taurus. And letting go of this emotional loss, leaving it. It's like walking away from it now. It's time to let it go. Turn around. Go after your own fulfillment, your own birthright. It's time to stand your ground. Okay. I'll leave the cards out. Let's pull some oracle cards. Oh no, I've got some Archangel Power Tarot. So before we go on to oracle, I still picked up Archangel Guidance. Okay. What's this one? 3 of Michael. Look, it's rolled out of the pack. Got the pack here. It's the 3 of Swords again. Release the past. You will grow from this situation. Time heals all wounds. Let's put it back in. I'm just looking up at Wayne Dyer book called I Can See Clearly Now. It's a good book. We all go through the awakening. Okay, in our own unique way. But with similarities. So, Knight of Gabriel. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous and charismatic. It's time to take action. Great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. And that's why there's this stillness, so you can gain confidence, enthusiasm, be courageous and charismatic. So it's like doing it with flair. And that comes down to showing yourself self-compassion for the past. Not love, not self-love. Be compassionate. It's the journey. The journey is what you will share. So it's like maybe it's time to make sense of the journey, to see the truth of the matter. We've got the Knight of Raphael as well. So the Knights, remember, the Knights bring messages, offers. The pages bring messages, but the Knights are offers, they're off. So we've got the Knight of Gabriel, confident, enthusiastic, courageous and charismatic. Then we've got a Knight of Raphael, romantic, dramatic, poetic and introspective. Committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. And they're exactly the type of topics that you want to be engaging in. Ones that make your heart flutter. I spoke at the beginning about who's in your corner and who's not. Who's evolving you, who's stopping you. It's time to wrap up these cycles. It's like go after what it is that you're desiring. Being selfish to be selfless. So, committed romantic relationships, that's that. Being swept off of your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. That's not that. They're not making you flutter. But I want to say here, this is an energy of you're getting it. Kind of, you don't have to focus on the drama, on the storm. Okay. Let's get one more. That's interesting because the Knight of Gabriel is a feminine and the Knight of Raphael is a masculine. The feminine has an angel and the masculine has birds guiding him. He's by the water, she's in the desert. Pictures always have meanings, otherwise they wouldn't put them on there. They're two, charging away. She's in a masculine energy. Oh, sorry. He's in his feminine, I want to say, with the water, the emotion. Okay, let's get one more. Oh, we're going to get two. I've got a leap of faith being taken here. Believe in yourself, listen to your heart, and do what gives you joy. So one man and his dog. King of Michael, principled, rational, ambitious, and respected. That's that energy. Standing your ground, knowing your worth. Wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity. A situation that calls for honest and open communication. Always reminds me of the yellow brick road. It's not even yellow, but the bricks are kind of like it, aren't they? And I can see the yellow roses. He's got the birds around him. Butterflies here with the leap of faith. That's quite cute, isn't it? Look at the butterflies surrounding the masculine here regarding taking a leap of faith. It is scary, taking that leap of faith. But I think it might be this is when we end up regretting not taking those leaps of faith for fear. So is it better to take the leap of faith than never know? Take the leap of faith. You'll only grow from it because it's heartache here and moving on from the past that's stopping. It's like you can let your past stop you. At the end of the day, you're the only person that, like we are realising now, we're the ones that have to live with our actions. So I kind of like want to say, so when do we stop adding to those things that we regret? When do you kind of wake up? Yeah. And then you kind of get to this point where you watch others just keep adding, and then you can have the compassion because you know that they're going to have to clear that. When it comes in well with responding, do you respond? Do you just walk away? Okay. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Gabriel. So it's this 2 of, I was going to say it's 2 of Pentacles, but it's not. It's a 2 of Wands. It says make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. So it really is, who shares your vision? What makes your heart flutter? And you do that. You do you. Yeah, you do you. Some people might not like who you are. You might not like the way that they live or who they are, but we don't need to join them in pointing that out to them. They will awaken. It's their lesson, their karma, their clearings, and their fears. Okay. But you're in charge of yours. And it's like, set the example, be the role model. Right, okay. I've got Archangel guidance. Yep, career transition. I said that if you become awake, if you wake up, the enlightenment, journey of ascension, you have to share it. Otherwise you're not awake. Okay. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. Wrap up all of it. And make bold and ambitious choices. Set those intentions really high. I mean, I shared earlier about, it was a quote, wasn't it, about imagining that you're a millionaire. And it's like, well, just go aim higher. What the universe knows no different to a penny or a pound. Ask and you shall receive. Comfort. I'm with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. Let's read this because that 3 of Swords came out twice, showed itself. We've got the emotional loss card, which is about leaving this in the past. Turning around now, moving on. So let's read the comfort card. Okay. Even the strongest, I can't even pick up an energy because it's masculine and feminine energy, this. So it's not for one or the other, it's for both energies. That's how we get spiritual union. It's an understanding. It's a comfort. Even the strongest person experiences upsetting situations, and there's no shame in taking the time to heal your heart. This is a good time for quiet reflection upon your true feelings. Write them down in a private journal, and then call upon me to bring comfort to your heart and mind. I can help you sleep better at night, put your mind at ease. I did think that actually, but because I've come so, I'm not one to, I wouldn't unload negatively into a diary. It's kind of like I've done the clearing, some things you don't need to go back over or try and clear something that's already been cleared. But it's definitely, spoke about the journal. I spoke about picking up on the energies and the conversations and the signs and synchronizations so that I can put together some kind of pattern, maybe, of, we've been speaking about the spectrum of spirituality. And how do we learn? We take each day at a time. We deal with the energy that is on the day. We use the guidance that comes in. We use the tools. That's why there's kind of, I always feel there's no structure. There cannot be any structure to this. It just flows. And by taking it one day at a time, you're going to realise that you gain so much knowledge rather than just trying to focus or pre-script things. It's about flow, stillness, just being. just observing and watching it all unfold, participating from this place of love. Just your presence is what your participation is, just your presence here, your energy. So, and but I've just said about how I didn't keep a journal. That may have helped. Okay, and earlier on I was actually thinking about what I lost. I call it lost. It's not, I didn't lose it. Just it was time to upgrade, reprogram, get rid of some old program systems. And I found myself doing this chatter in my mind about actually what I experienced when, you know, my husband was going through his transition and everything that happened to me during that. It's like, I don't know, would it have helped to have wrote all that down? It was quite, I suppose, depressing to be living through it, but I didn't. Anyway, there's the matter. I think if you write it down, it's for a reason. I did not journal it. I have other journalings of it. I have photographs and things like that, but actually writing down the whole process, I'm not even sure I would want to go back and reread that. That's maybe a little bit of victim mentality, but it may have helped at the time. And that I'm never going to know because I didn't do it. So, but that card does say to jot down your feelings. And maybe now when you go through something like that, to be able to show yourself compassion for what you're going through. Yeah, because only you know, really, it's your journey. So, comfort. Or is it we get to this point where we shouldn't journal it because maybe we're not allowed to talk about it? It's wrong to talk about it. It's wrong to talk about challenging situations. I think it depends on how you talk about it. So, working with Archangel Azrael, it's whether you're a victim or whether you're a survivor. Survivor. Okay. I didn't even really like that word, a survivor. Victim, a survivor. It's just the life lessons. And there's so many. It's like, we can't take them all on. But we'll take on our ones that will strengthen us and teach us our most valuable, biggest lessons, and will test us and will bring us to our knees until we kind of get it the hard way. We all learn the hard way. The ego is the one that gets in the way. The ego kind of stands for edging God out. So, but the ego can help. The ego can help when you're dreaming, but then the ego will actually step in and say, you're a bit too big for your boots. I think you want to, you know, come back down to earth. You shouldn't think so highly of yourself. So be careful. The ego can help, but the ego is your biggest challenge. It will try to stop you. Comfort. Working with Archangel Azrael. Azrael's aura is a beautiful shade of vanilla cream, a very pale yellow tone. He surrounds grieving and dying persons with this love and light to bring them comfort. When Azrael is around you, you may see egg-coloured twinkling lights in the room. The crystal creamy yellow calcite is collaborated to Azrael's energy, so holding or wearing this crystal may lend additional comfort. I don't have that one. I might do. No, I don't. Probably find it somewhere in the house now. Okay, comfort. Comfort yourself. Give that to you. Let's get a well-being card then. Comfort. I'm looking at about a week, I'm going to say, before my husband made his transition. Now, my husband he was really poorly. He was like, I've never seen anyone's spirit fight so much. I was kind of like, in the end, begging him. I'm going, the body's going to win. The body really was going to win. This was, it was getting to a point where it was very hard to watch what was happening. I was kind of going to him, have you any idea when maybe you're going to be making your transition? Like, this was a state me and my husband was in, but actually this really did upset a lot of people, our openness about this. And he was like, not just yet, soon, but not just yet. And I realised that in them kind of 2 days, 3 days maybe, until it was his transition, I realised that there was a lot that we still had to kind of wrap up between us. That if I hadn't have had the time, or maybe the situations, opportunities, the healing, in those final few days, then that would have had an impact, I suppose, on how maybe now I would have dealt with things. So it was to make sure that cycles all wrapped up, but the kind of universe knows how to do that. We can get quite frustrated, but we have to be patient and trust that the universe knows what it's doing. Okay, but it was about a week before, and he had gone. He was laying a lot more, not in a chair, but he was never, he was always fully dressed, until the last 2 days, and I really had to kind of cut his jeans off because they had to, in the end, they had to put a needle in there, and they needed access, and he was too, it was very difficult to kind of change him. So we ended up doing that, but I was with my mother-in-law. She was with me. My husband was in a hospice. Okay, he was quite, the last final month, it was best if he was out of the house. It was very hard. I actually stopped my children from seeing what was going on. Okay, so they managed to say their goodbyes, a bit before transition, not the whole month, but I did kind of keep them away for the last week. And in the end, I kept myself away because he really was just striving to live for me. Every time he saw my face, he would just wake up and he would be like, "What? I need to take my," and it's like, it was one of those. But he was very calm and peaceful. And I was sitting on the bed and I was holding his hand. And I said to my mother-in-law, I said, my phone was over the other side of the room. And I said, can you get my phone for me, please? And I said, I need to take a picture of this. I don't know why, I just need to take this picture of me and my husband holding hands. Okay, it was very, very calming. So I took the picture. I didn't realise, but afterwards I got a present from a friend, and she had had the picture done in X-ray kind of style, okay, effect, and that's what I just looked at, and it was, I don't know why I'm saying this about the support, maybe never feeling alone, but I'll show it to you. And I look at that. It's not a visual of him, it's my support. It's like tapping in. You will have the guidance, you'll know what to do, ask. So in a way, maybe what I'm saying is try not to put the burden on others. I just love how it looks like it's energy, like, it's amazing. Anyway, there's a reason why everything, see? So that kind of sits there and reminds me that you've always got the support. Right, let's have a look at the well-being, because I'm really having a good chat today. I practice the science of deliberate creation. A butterfly. Okay. Giving thought to anything is creation. Giving deliberate thought to anything is deliberate creation. Even birdies agree. So if we're putting, we have to be careful about this past energy and putting thoughts into that, because we will create. This one's a good one with the swan. Okay, so it's like I want to say, be that ugly duckling that evolves into that beautiful white swan. Sing, there once was an ugly duckling. I was so the ugly duckling. Oh, that's how I felt. I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I've matured into a beautiful white swan. And, you know, they're lovely. Okay. They do go in pairs, though, I believe. I don't know much about swans. Apart from they belong to the Queen, I believe. I went to a fantastic, what are they called? Are they called swanery? It's before I had children. That was with my husband. That was amazing. Okay, let's get back to this. But the message is, it is not my responsibility to convince anyone of anything. Learning the hard way. Trying to convince. Frustrating. A bit too much effort, isn't it, really? So make your decisions about what you want and set out to create the life experience that you choose and allow all others to do the same. A bit of advice I gave yesterday was try not to request a person to kind of, no, that wasn't how I worded it. I'm going to actually have to tell you the wording because I thought it was quite good. I was just kind of channeling messages, so it wasn't really me. It was just kind of, which is really good to kind of just allow automatic writing. So, now what have I done? That's because I'm on airplane mode. Always. So, let me read you this message. What was I actually talking about? Oh, yes, it was about, this is it. Try biting your tongue and asking anyone to adapt for you. No more reminders. Normally, you've stated your request. I've learned how to do this, especially in my house, with my children. My daughters, I mean, they're old enough, okay. 15 and 19, so. It's when I ask them to do something and then they don't. And then you want to remind them, and it was kind of like in my home, we can ask. We can ask for help and support, but we don't judge if that's not given. And that's what it was. It was like, how much are you asking of others to change to please you? Just see what's triggering you. It's like be stum and just see the truth in the matter. So I'm going to get one more from here. Or two. The main event isn't the destination, it's my joyous journey. So you may as well have enjoyed the journey that you've kind of come so far on already. Don't make it all void. You did not come forth seeking assignments to complete. You came forth for reason to flow and to love and to enjoy life. Even though you will return home at the end of any vacation, the idea of your holiday is not to complete it as quickly as possible so that you can check it off your list. The idea of your vacation and of this life experience is to have a joyous experience. So I think it was about the vacations and everything because I'd done a lot of travelling. I was thinking about that today, about how sharing, how abundance can be so shared by your presence. And we may not write journals, but we do journal in other ways, photographs, memorabilia, souvenirs that we pick up, and just the memories that we create. So, and sometimes it's not until after those events that you actually really feel the appreciation for that part of the journey. So it's like, be a bit easier on yourself. It all has meaning. It will all make sense. Maybe not at the time, but it always will. By visualizing my desired outcome, the perfect action is always inspired. It's always inspired action. As your desire to feel good leads you to thoughts that feel good, the perfect action will be inspired from that alignment, and that inspired action is always joyful. It's like, do it in joy, or don't do it at all. You want to be passion by day, passion by night. Okay, you want to be loving what you're doing, and if you're not, then don't do it, because it would just create this, and you end up feeling like this, and blame comes out, and then you start doing things for other people. That's a big one. But I done this to change. Why hasn't anything I've been trying for who? For another? That won't get you far, apart from teaching them what being codependent is. But we all learn the hard way. I want to pull some magical mermaids and dolphins, but then it's about admitting that you were wrong. Whoa, now that's a tough one. How do you say you got it wrong? Well, try actually saying you got it wrong. That might work. Facing the truth of it, I got it wrong. Or I think I got it wrong. Or I would like to know more. Or my opinion about that's now changed. You can't condemn everybody that doesn't agree with you, or who you're not in that vibrational alignment with, because everybody awakes. So at their own time. Let's see what that one is. Oh, we've got two. A new dawn. I like that. The worst is now behind you and positive new experiences are on the horizon. So this is shouting out. I was going to share something yesterday because I found out when I spoke about the gentleman who's the psychic medium, and he can actually see, kind of health issues within you. Well, he was on Hay House, and I did share it, I believe. And I can't remember what he was talking about. Ah, yes, I do. It was about compassion. I've picked up lots about compassion being the highest kind of energy of love, really the highest vibration of love. So it makes sense of that. But the article I had heard the following year was what I wanted to share with you, and I tried to have a look for it, and it gave me a video, but it didn't explain it the way that he had in the Hay House World Summit for either last year or the year before. Now, these do go missing, these lessons. That's why it's important. You can catch up on all of them over the 17 days. So series 1 is still going to be available when we're on series 8. Okay, but after, they're going to go. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've lost something that I listened to, but I do remember from it. He said that if there's one thing as a kind of human being he could tell us is to work on our trust. And he says we lack so much trust, okay? Trust in the universe. And he said the only thing, and it's to be observant when the sun sets every day and you let it all go. Because one thing that you can trust is that the sun's going to rise tomorrow. And that's how you build your trust in the sun. You start to acknowledge when the sun sets. Okay, and if you can rise with the sunrise. But one thing is for certain, that sun is always going to rise, and that's where you build your trust. Anyway, I tried to find the article, couldn't. I hope that made a bit of sense. So to work on these trust issues, I have, I think, just shared an article on the Facebook page about trust. So it might be worthwhile having a look, but that's what we're really lacking, is this trust. And we get to, I don't know if I actually did share that one. I don't know. Affirm that you trust in the universe, really, until you no longer need to seek to trust. It will just be part of you. Just trust. It'll be a flow. So that one says, a new dawn. The worst is now behind you and positive new experiences are on the horizon. We've got time to move on. It's time to let go of the old and worn out so that the new can come in. I'm going to get one more from here. And then I'm going to finish on a Mother Mary card. There we go. You can't state it anymore. I've just said about affirming. I just spoke about the sun setting, the sun rising, okay? And affirming. I can't remember, what did I say about affirming? Morning affirmations. Say positive affirmations each morning to open the gates of manifestations. So important. Abraham Hicks talks about this. I wonder if it'll be today. I think that Abraham has got actually yesterday. They're kind of like the series lasts for 2 days and they whack you in some more lessons. It spoke more to Esther Hicks, which is really great because Esther normally is the one she's channeling Abraham, but Esther doesn't really like to be questioned. She's like, just ask Abraham, you know, just allow Abraham to speak through. So morning affirmations, I think it could be 16 seconds, but they state about if you can hold, as soon as you wake in the morning, you find that appreciation. So I spoke about either appreciation or meditation. So when you wake in the morning, find the appreciation. Hold that thought for 16 seconds and just try and carry on in blocks of 16 seconds, okay? Just this feeling of feeling appreciation for life, and just that's it, just for now. And if you can hold that for just over the minute mark, okay, it's a minute of your time in the morning. It's more about being conscious to wake up and actually start positive, but then you go to sleep at night. So definitely watch that. She speaks about that. So definitely go on to the Hay House and check out in the series 1, the Abraham, Esther Hicks, I think it's called, because it will give you some tips on that. And so it's basically when you go to bed with a smile on your face, okay? And then you'll wake up in the morning, okay, and you'll be able to pick up that energy as well, because when we sleep, we kind of stop. We just stop the manifestation, okay? It's more about receiving. So if you go to bed feeling all doom and gloom, all these burdens, okay, they're probably going to be the first thing on your mind when you wake up in the morning. So drop them. Be conscious of it. Try these practices. And teach them to others. Even if you've just found out, like, what I do is I study and then I'm sharing it straight away. It's amazing what you pick up and what you know. Start sharing it. Start being it. Start speaking it into existence. Okay? Start practicing. You'll know more than a lot of others, and they'll probably think you're absolutely crazy, but it doesn't matter. They're still asleep. Doesn't matter. Okay, right, let's end on a Mother Mary card. Doesn't matter what others think, it matters what you think about you, doesn't it, and your life. So, be selfish to become selfless. What's this one? Wow, okay, Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. Now, I spoke about this tsunami, so... I love it. It's a 28, which brings us to a 10. 10, 10. I saw that synchronisation, keep seeing that synchronisation, 10, 10. Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. So 28 brings us to a 10. I think that's about trust and new beginnings. Okay, let's read this card. Oh, it's not. No, I've gone to 10. Our Lady of Creative Choice. Let's go to 28. I champion your growth always. I know when hard edges are best to be softened, and when it's time for you to receive reward for efforts made. Allow me to help you release a karmic pattern so that you can now be reborn into new consciousness. Allow me to help you heal your life from the inside, that the outside may change and reflect your inner beauty and spiritual light. I am bringing you assistance now, that a force beyond your control may be softened and your successful growth assured. Your life story spans further than you may imagine. You might believe that your past, or your anxiety, or hope about the future is what matters most in your unfolding life story. But this is not the case. The Divine Mother sees with vision far broader than our own. She has insight beyond the veils. She has insight beyond the veils of time and space. She understands that there are invisible karmic forces at work in our lives, building circumstances that are both challenging and uplifting. She understands that karma is not punishment, but a chance to learn and grow, whether that be through challenge or opportunity, which she sees as one and the same. She knows, however, that we could often benefit from her help, because although we have all the power we need in order to choose how to respond to karmic circumstances in life, we might be struggling unnecessarily to master our lessons. In such instances, she offers her intervention on our behalf. Like divine training wheels, the assistance of the Mother supports our journey, but she doesn't take all the work, and therefore the valuable and essential spiritual learning that leads to personal growth out of the equation. I felt like I would say it's your responsibility. It's only so much, just like I will share. I will share as I learn this, okay? Otherwise there's no point in me even learning it. Or knowing it. There you go, there's no point in me knowing it if I don't share. But you have to take responsibility yourself for that. Okay. Which is, we're kind of touching on this. We're getting there, but that's part of spiritual ascension, isn't it? Okay. So, like divine training wheels, the assistance of the Mother supports our journey, but she doesn't take all the work, and therefore the valuable and essential spiritual learning that leads to personal growth out of the equation. You have to learn the hard way. It's not a hard way. You will learn, but when you're aware, you can choose, can't you? You're conscious. So, Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth comes at a time when there is karmic heaviness around you. This is not a bad situation, nor is it a punishment of any kind. The more advanced the soul, the more challenge it is capable of taking on. Don't imagine that your struggles indicate that there is something wrong with you or your life. As frustrating as they may be, those struggles, especially the big heart struggles with those things that hold much meaning or value for you personally, are a sign of a big soul going through spiritual growth. Mother Mary knows this and wants to help you attain your growth and divine success without getting stuck in old patterns. This is an important karmic time for you, and it heralds not only the assistance of the Divine Mother in working through challenging karma, but also the blessing of the Divine Mother bestowed through supportive and uplifting karmic inheritance. There is a time, you see, not only to learn, but also to earn the reward of past efforts. The following healing process will help you set in motion both the assistance to meet challenges and the harvest of spiritual rewards too. These are both being offered to you now in acknowledgement of your own past efforts and all the good that your personal spiritual success can bring to the world around you. There's no point receiving that inheritance if you're asleep. You wake up, you get your inheritance, you know how to enjoy it, how to find the joy in that. Okay, let's do this healing. I just felt like it was like you know how sometimes you receive a reward at the end of an achievement. It's like the universe is really going to be supplying that now that you're awake. So, makes sense to me. When you appreciate, when you value the gift. You can only value the gift when you've experienced what it feels like not to have that in your life. That's when you'll really value appreciation. Okay, let's end on this healing process and affirmation. Perceive that you are standing at the edge of a vast, powerful ocean with the water lapping at your feet on the shoreline. You gaze at the horizon, watching a stunning sunrise. It's all coming in, isn't it? Look. You gaze at the horizon, watching a stunning sunrise or sunset taking place, whatever feels right for you. Out of the sun, beautiful Mother Mary emerges in flowing robes of gold. She pours golden light from the sun behind her, through her heart and hands, and into the top of your head. It pours through you in tingling waves. The golden light comes out of your feet and continues flowing into the ocean, filling it with golden light. Repeat this healing prayer aloud, or quietly in your mind if needs be, 3 times. And imagine, as you speak, that you are sending the words, with love from your heart, to the Divine Mother. Said about speaking these words, okay, a sorcerer. I can't remember who said it. Wayne Dyer, I think. A sorcerer is somebody that creates by intention. So, it said to repeat this healing prayer aloud or quietly in your mind if needs be 3 times. And imagine as you speak that you are sending the words from love, with love, from your heart to the Divine Mother. So feel into these words. Okay. I call upon the karmic healing and spiritual grace of Mother Mary, who loves me unconditionally. I ask for and accept your divine intervention and karmic grace in all areas of my life now. I gratefully receive blessing and harvest of spiritual grace that will serve my highest good now, through divine love and my own free will. So be it. Rest for a few moments. Finish with this closing affirmation said aloud if possible, repeated 3 times. I am blessed with extraordinary grace and the divine intervention of the Holy Mother. I'll add amen to that. Okay. Trust. Hand it over. Trust the universe. Really is coming in well. So if you're not picking up already the signs and synchronizations and how it's flowing with the energy over on Facebook, then maybe you do need to kind of wake up a little bit, because there's definitely a trend, a kind of a daily energy feeling. Okay, right, it's about awareness. It's Monday, guys. Okay, it's the 6th, which is about harmony and love, 6th of May. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch up with you guys soon. Okay, take care. Keep dreaming big. Okay, and let's intend this. Okay, let's create this by our intentions. Okay, guys, I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.